All right.
Okay.
So practicing writing the equation for the tangent. We did some of these on the homework, but I thought we'd practice a little bit more. So here we're taking the derivative with respect to x. So the derivative of the y cubed with respect to x will be what?
3y.
3y what?
We can make it squared.
Yes. 3y squared dy dx. Minus, and the minus sign, especially when you're about to do the product rule, because you're going to have now two terms. Yeah, put it in parentheses or rewrite it as plus a negative x times y. Lance doesn't like that, so
Parentheses so much.
we'll do parentheses.
They make one like we use a bracket.
So we'll have x times the derivative of y with respect to x, which is dy dx, plus y times the derivative of x with respect to x, which is 1, equals 0. So these first two terms are going to have a dy dx, so I'll put them together and factor out the dy dx. So it'd be 3y squared minus x times dy dx is equal to y. Went ahead and distributed the negative and then moved it to the other side by adding. And this one's easy enough to where, I mean, we could have gone ahead and put in the numbers right away, right? After you've taken the derivative, it really doesn't matter when you do it. This one's simple enough to where I'm going to go ahead and solve it for dy dx. But you certainly don't have to do that first. So it's going to be y over 3y squared minus x. So the slope will be 2 over 3 times 2 squared minus x, which is 7, yeah. So that's 2/5.
Or 14. Or we just play 4.
So then y is equal to 2 plus 2/5 times x minus 7. So I'm curious as to, would this have been much easier, a lot easier, or about the same if we had, after taking the derivative, substituted in the numbers?
It was the same. I substituted numbers on the second step.
So it's about the same?
Yeah.
So this would be minus 7 dy dx?
No, I did it at the y equals dy dx times.
Oh, I was saying do it immediately. So that's 12 minus 7 is 5 dy dx is 2. So dy dx is 2/5. It's a little faster to go ahead and do it immediately.
I like doing it after.
Yeah, I'll just say that if it's all ugly to simplify algebraically, go ahead and substitute in. This one, that's why I was saying, this one, it's not too bad to simplify this algebraically. But if it's nasty, go ahead and substitute in the numbers and then simplify. It'll be easier.
For the tangent line, I got y is equal to 0.4x minus 0.8.
Okay. Moving right along. Find the coordinates of any horizontal or vertical tangents. Set it equal to 0.
Set the function, the derivative.
The derivative of the function.
Yeah, you said the derivative equal to 0 to find horizontal. What did you do to do vertical?
said the second derivative is 0.
Thanks for playing. We have some lovely parting gifts for you.
Can I
You set
guess
the
I
X.
try?
Do you set the X's to 0?
No.
Set the Y's to 0.
Well, no.
We call the wonderful Mr. Gaines. No people.
All right, let's take the derivative. So the derivative of y cubed is 3y squared dy dx. Is this the one we just did?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's find it again.
Let's do it again just for fun. So x times dy dx
Plus Y.
plus y times 1 equals 0. And here, it's really necessary to solve dy dx algebraically. So we're going to have 3y squared minus x times dy dx is equal to positive y.
Because that minus goes to all of it. So it would be a negative y moved to the.
Precisely.
To make sure I follow that.
British people do that. Facts.
So in order for this to be horizontal, what has to be true?
It's 0.
It's 0. Please never say it's unless you have first identified who it is. No, seriously, that comes up on the AP exam. People will be, frequently they ask you to justify your answer. And students write it like 3 different times, referring to different things each time.
Well, that's just bad English skills.
They need to put a key. It equals this. It equals this.
I can say
Yeah.
like I can put like it in
It's
one.
up for interpretation.
You know,
Yeah.
books, they
If
have,
you use it without first having talked about the subject of the sentence, they won't fill it in with what it should have been. It's just wrong.
Well, question:
Yes.
do subjects carry over from sentences to sentences of AP test?
Yes.
All right.
So once you've established that I'm talking about this, and then in the next sentence you talk about it, we refer back to the first sentence.
Math teachers are scary.
Thank you. So, in order for this to be horizontal, what has to be true?
The derivative equals 0.
Correct. And since the derivative is a fraction, what part of the fraction has to be 0?
The top.
No, the bottom.
Yeah, let's talk about top and bottom and talk about the correct big boy names for those.
How about numerator?
The numerator has to be 0. So y would have to be 0. So if y is equal to 0, we need to figure out, well, what is the x-coordinate that goes with that, or x-coordinates? So we go back to the original graph. And we go, okay, so 0 cubed minus x times 0 is equal to negative 6. Well, that gives you the wonderful 0 equals negative 6. So it's never horizontal. So this graph never has a horizontal tangent.
What about vertical?
An excellent question.
Who's going to ruin our day? It's one simple.
To be a vertical tangent,
X equals 0?
okay, stop with that. I've already said no. Okay, so the slope would have to be what for a vertical tangent?
It's maybe 1.
Not
One, not one.
Not 1.
I mean, not 1. I mean, let's have something.
Not
What is the slope of a line that goes like this?
undefined.
Thank you.
That's what I
So that's to be 0 on the bottom.
So the denominator has to be equal to 0.
all lines are straight there.
So 3y squared minus x has to be 0,
Well,
which then implies x is equal to 3y squared.
why do you have to say it top? It's not-
Well, it's not equal. So now I'll substitute 3y squared back in for x in my original equation. So then I have y cubed minus 3y squared times y is equal to negative 6. So that's y cubed minus 3y cubed equals negative 6. Well, now we're getting somewhere. Yep, negative 2y cubed is equal to negative 6. So y cubed is equal to 3. So y is the cube root of 3. And x, since it's equal to 3y squared, that would be 3 times the cube root of 9.
How'd you get the 9?
I squared. Okay, so because we can do this with technology, I'm going to get rid of all the stuff over here. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's too bad I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use Graphmatica. So I'm going to graph that original y cubed minus xy equals negative 6. Hey, it's a sideways parabola.
Or you could say
Concave left.
yeah,
Concave. That'd be concave right.
yeah.
It's convex left.
It's convex left. Yeah, you guys are cracking me up. So notice it doesn't have any horizontal tangent lines, but it does have a vertical tangent line. And let me. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Hang on a second. Let me restart that.
He killed the Graphmatica.
And then it was reincarnated again.
Again.
So y cubed minus xy squared minus x times y equals negative 6. Ooh, there's another part to that we didn't even see.
It's an off ramp with a convex left.
Ask me what my future driveway looks like. I don't know.
You're gonna have is it gonna come up a hill and then?
So this point right in here, someone figure out what is the cube root of 3? Oh, calculator boys.
Look, the real world.
Or what is 3 times the cube root of 9? That would give us the x coordinate.
Cube root.
6.240251469.
Cube root of 3 is like 1.44.
And look, isn't that about where that is?
Yeah.
Whoa!
That's like the point of the tangent.
Exactly.
Oh! I got it.
And so I could actually draw that tangent in here. I think it'll do it. Nope, not quite in the right spot.
Graphmatica's not smart enough to write your tangent line.
No, it does do tangent lines. I'm just not quite exactly in the right spot. It's hard to get exactly in the right spot for those.
Do you have an example is going to be
Yeah, see, because that's so small. All right, moving on.
Easy peasy.
This is gonna be on a homework, please find the hidden one. Give you like a heart attack right now.
Oh, we did one almost exactly like this on the homework.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe some additional practice. What is this?
This is
It's a
just
waste
a
of
product.
time.
I mean,
This is a
not
waste
product.
of time.
No, Lance, math is good.
What
for
is the
you.
graph of x squared plus y squared
Oh, it's
equals
a
30?
circle.
A
Yes,
circle.
but this
The
circle has a
circle
radius of
It's the
Six.
it's the
Yeah,
unit
the-
circle to the 36.
that was a radius of 6.
Has a radius of 6 centered at the origin.
Let's check out.
So when we take the derivative of this,
Let's take the lens.
this will be 2x plus 2y dy dx
Oh, whoa.
equals 0.
Back.
So then dy dx is going to be negative x over y, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice from the homework that it was exactly the same thing for the unit circle?
That's crazy.
The fact that the circle is bigger doesn't do anything to the expression of the derivative.
Because it goes to 0.
Pardon?
Because the radius goes to 0 when you take the derivative.
No.
The origin, remember the origin line?
What we've done is we've just expanded that out, and so that expands both the x and the y.
Equally.
Right. So the slope is going to be the same at the same relative position. So then the second derivative,
You said the R word.
d squared y dx squared, would be, where do we start?
Whoa,
Y
With y, the denominator,
times
times negative 1 minus,
minus negative x times dy dx.
We can't make that a plus.
we will eventually, but it's a bad idea to do it partway through. And the reason it's a bad idea is because if you do that enough times, then when you get to one where it's not supposed to be that way, you'll tend to put a plus sign. Yep.
And we call it that.
So then that'll be negative y plus x times negative x over y all over y squared.
Multiply by y on the numerator and denominator.
Exactly.
How do I know this? Because it's
So it'd be negative y squared minus x squared over y cubed.
the end.
And the crowd goes wild. Any questions?
Maybe prolong the time until you take the quiz.
You want to take
No,
a
I
quiz?
think that's enough time.